So hello and welcome back to another great video. So in this one, we are going to see how I was able to bring my idea into a real UI within 5 hours. Of course, all this was made possible due to all these different beautiful and amazing AI tools, which make me scared about my job in the future, the reason why I am here. So if you're new here, make sure you like, subscribe, share, and click all different buttons you see on the screen. We are already at 15 subscribers. We just need 5 more to reach our 20 subscriber mark. So do your bit. By the way, this is day 3 of building a product. So in day 1, we ideated on an idea. Day 2, we got some customer feedback. We showed people what we are trying to build, and we got some reviews from our potential customers, which are essentially Flutter developers, right? So now on day 3, we are diving deep into actually building our product, getting our hands dirty. So let's see what I was able to achieve and how I did it and what all stuff I went through, what problems I faced, how I solved them, whether I did solve them, whether I did not, and what was the end result, right? Cool. Let's waste no more time and dive into it. By the way, yeah, all this is available as a Medium article as well. As you can see on the top, the same link will be available in the description. So if you like reading, you can go through that. If you don't, then you're already here. Cool. Let's go down. So just a small recap, right? Any software application, according to me, has at least these 2 parts, right? A front end and a back end. So front end, if you're not a software engineer, front end is something that you see, a product, the canvas of the product, the gift wrap of the product, right? The presentation of the product. But, so for example, when you open a calculator, you see a calculator screen, right, on your mobile. But when you click 1 plus 1, a logic should happen at the back, right? Some calculation should happen. So that calculation part is the back end, and front end is basically how the results should look, how your actions should look. What is the way you interact with your system, right? Both of them equally important. Front end also massively important. I specifically like to start with front end because then I know what is the product that I'm actually building. I can see what I'm building. I can see what a user will feel. I can go through different problems that user might experience on the way. If you start with backend, there are many times that you have to go back to it and refactoring it a lot of times because of potential problems that you were not able to foresee. The reason why I chose to move first into front end, build a front end first, and then go and dab a little bit or make a proper detailed backend. Anyway, so if you have saw my any previous videos, right, you know I am a man of very less time. I already have a job, so all I'm looking here is to spend as many amount of time to get as maximum amount of influence, right? So my idea here is to build a small bare bones MVP, right, that I can present to actual users as soon as possible, right? And I'm looking to hear all different abuses from them, honestly, right? I want to ship fast, I want to fail fast, and then I want to rectify it fast without wasting any further time, right? Because isn't that the core of agile methodology, right? Agile strategy, building an MVP, show to the customers, get the customer feedback, and act upon it as soon as possible. And cycle goes on until and unless you have a perfect product, which you usually do not have, but you at least have customers that are interested in what you are building. So anyway, so that's the strategy that I am opting for here. So if you remember, the first thing I said is ship fast. So ship fast, I mean really fast. I do not want to spend any much more effort. I'm not here to reinvent the wheel. I'm here to make money. Anyway, so the MVP, the one thing that we are all here for. So in my MVP, I had decided that I want to build 2 features. One was a set of theoretical questions on Flutter that require users to answer them, right? Similar to what you see on LeetCode, right? On LeetCode, you see a question. On right side, you see a blank box where you are able to type in your code and compile it and run it against test cases to see whether what you're thinking is right, whether what you're doing is optimal, and anything else, right? Which essentially turn you into a better DSA engineer. Similar way, what I'm doing is, on the right side, you might see questions, descriptive questions. On the right side, you're expected to write what you feel is the correct answer. Based on what you write, your answer will be evaluated by AI, and AI will be able to tell you how accurate you are, and will provide you actually points of feedback, critical points that you may have missed. And I'm not here to provide you something what GPT provides, right? I don't want to give the user a bunch of paragraph that tells you nothing. And this is specifically for people who are preparing for Flutter interviews and who do not have time, right? I want the responses, the feedback to be exact, to the point. and should not be too verbose. The solutions or the feedback should be in such a way that solution is concise but clear, in that the user should be able to answer and prepare for the interview, right? So that is my vision regarding the first feature. And the second one is based on the user's performance, they will receive a personalized coding profile, right? So as I told you, what we are building is lead code for Flutter developers, right? So what makes lead code fun? Lead code's competitiveness makes it fun. So a user has a profile, a user can see what all questions he solved, what difficulty did he solve, how much he participated in contest, and how what are his areas of improvement, and what are his strong zones, what are his weak zones. Plus, the most important thing, how does he compare with his friends and other SMEs in the domain? So that is what makes lead code fun, and that is what I am aiming for. That would be my gold standard for this particular product. So now I guess you have some idea about what I am trying to say, what my vision is, which isn't very difficult to understand, but still I took the liberty of taking you through it again. So cool. Before I show you what I did, I would like to show you what was the end result, right? All right. So here you can see the website that I ended up building with the help of all different AI tools that we will be discussing. You can see the website looks very much inspired by lead code, just a little bit, I would say, more obvious. Like, so what I had in the aim is that I don't want to have 10,000 things on the page, which you often feel when you come to lead code. I just want the people to come here, know what they are here for, right? So there are a few things that you can do on this website. Only a few things. One, solve problems, get them analyzed. Second, get AI feedback on that. Third is have a profile, right? So that are the three things you can see on the screen. By the way, the name Mob Dev Prep might sound a bit lame. So basically it's a mix of mobile development and preparation. I know, I came up with it. If you have any better ideas, make sure to comment down below or DM me on LinkedIn. Anyway, so on the problem set screen, you are right what you can see. So basically if I click on that, it will take you to all different Flutter problems we have. So you can see there are a bunch of problems on the screen. A few of them you can see how it looks when a problem is solved. So a small tick mark comes here, and if it is not, the tick mark is not there, there's a difficulty involved, the type of question involved, category, how many people have solved it, and when you click on review solution or write a solution, it will take you to the actual problem page where you can actually type an answer, right? And all these problems are like real Flutter problems. You can see a bunch of hints here. You can see related resources that you can visit to get more understanding about the particular topic. Keep in mind, right now there is no logic behind it. It is just painting on a canvas, but we are going to do it very soon. In the next video, we are going to build the backend for this, when you can see actually a full-fledged running product. So anyway, going back to the website, there's one more section that there are a few filters here. You can see if I click on medium, you will see medium problems. If I click on easy, you will see a few easy problems and hard problems. Basically we don't have any hard problems or easy, we just have medium ones right now. Anyway, I will tweak it, man. All this data is going to change once we have a proper working backend. Cool. Anyway, so let me take you back to the profile page, right? So if I take you to the profile page, this is how a profile will look like. It will have a simple user details section where you can see your streak, and you can see a few badges that your user might have earned, like Flutter Basic, like Quick Learner. You can see total questions he has solved, and since when the user is member since. Actually, instead of having member since, I really believe that I would rather have a rank section here, right? So a global ranking, the same way we have on lead code, because and that's the fun part of it. I'm not interested in what streak I have, or even since when I have been a member, right? This is not Twitter, I don't care. Cool. Even this level, I think I will have something really funky and fun for the users to see and have here, and a bunch of other things that I think will make it cool is when a user comes to his profile, user should also be able to see a few other accounts which are similar to him, right? Which are around the same range, which are practicing, which are his competition. Correct? Like if you have used chess.com, I don't know if you have, you will see that there's leagues based on what rating you have, right? And you are always compared with people who are close to your rating. So once you start moving up your league in your league and you go to the top, you are promoted to the next league where you are around people who are slightly better than you. Then you start beating them and further, right? So that type of thing, like silver league, gold league, platinum league. Even I think PUBG had something similar. So that is what I want, right? I want a gamification of this particular logic. You can see the weekly activity here. A lot of things actually on this page will change. Right now it is just something we have, but I actually come back to this particular product once everything starts working and do actually UI or UX research on this and make the design very intuitive than what it is right now. But what I would say is this is very good than what we had before, because we had nothing, right? You can see activity calendar here. You can see all your different stats, like how many questions you solve per day. Actually, this is the section that I like. How much time I spent, what is my average score, and what my areas of improvement are. Because this is something that is actually useful for a Flutter dev. Like, yeah, what progress you have on different topics and all. So this is what we built. So going back to our article, now you know what I built, how I built. By the way, all of this was totally responsive, so it works on any type of screen. Now the question is, okay Apurva, I now understand what you built. Enough with bragging. How did you build it, man? Cool. I'll waste no more time, take you very quickly through what all different tools I used, what my experience was. First is of course, man, GPT. GPT is like the holy grail of AI. And the reason I use GPT is one simple thing. GPT is not good at many things, but it is good at one thing, and that is prompt generation, right? I used AI to generate prompts for other AIs. So if you want to see basically what type of prompt I used for a popular tool such as VWeb, right? So what VWeb does is VWeb accepts a text for a prompt and builds a website based on that prompt. But each AI tool usually follows a particular pattern to which it performs or behaves the best. So what I basically did is, let me show it to you. Where is it, man? Give me a second. Yeah, this one. So here on the screen, you can see one example prompt that I provided to VWeb. Not VWeb, to GPT actually, right? So I told him to generate a prompt that I can give to a low-code tool like VWeb that will generate a website, right? And below I described the feature that I wanted to build. So prompt seems simple enough. By the way, the actual thing that I wrote was pretty bad. I use Grammarly, which basically rewrites what I write in a better form, in right punctuation, right English, and which then I feed it to GPT, which GPT generates into a detailed and verbose prompt. And that prompt is basically what I do. I just copy it, I pasted it into VWeb, and VWeb generated a website for me. Cool. But the prompt generation was cool. Grammarly performed awesome. When I gave it to VWeb, and VWeb is a great tool, but I feel it is still a bit immature to its competitors, right? So what happened is VWeb performed really great when it was just a single page application. So initially I told it to basically create my homepage. It created a beautiful homepage. Then I told it to basically create the Flutter question and answer section, right? So what it did was I clearly told it initially it tried to create the same thing in the homepage itself. Then I told it to create a different page, which it got confused with and created something else, and it ended up becoming a bunch of gibberish, right? I tried to solve the mess a lot. I tried to recreate a project. The recreated project also ended up becoming too complex. And even I feel the benefit or selling point of an AI tool is it being very easy to understand, right? So if I have to break my head in front of AI, then I would rather just code the particular website, right? Why wouldn't I use WordPress, right? So I felt that was one thing that VWeb missed out. I feel VWeb is something that I might come back after a year when it is a bit mature and might outperform the existing tools. It has great potential, but right now I feel it is way too complex in terms of specifically UI and UX. Also, one thing I felt was the UI was pretty dead, right? It was too AIE, right? So it was like a robot UI. It had no human feel to it, which usually these AI tools don't, but at least they should look good. It wasn't looking really good. It was just looking something that I asked it to do, but it had no flavor to it. Maybe I don't know how to use VWeb properly. Please, you can tell me any other tools that you feel are really good. Anyway, so that was my experience with VWeb. As I told you, I felt the designs were pretty dead. So I started second guessing myself that maybe if I provide designs to it, then it will provide better. So I went to some other UI tool that specifically created UI UX designs based on the prompt you provide. So that tool was builder.io. I don't think I mentioned it here. So I went to builder.io. I gave it a prompt and told it to design something similar to what I wanted. And honestly, it was even worse. For an AI tool that is specifically built for building beautiful designs, it did not build beautiful designs. So I gave up on the idea and I went to try a different tool. So I tried V0 by Version. So to be honest, I have been using Vercel since some time, not a lot, but I had dabbled it with a few times. Like I've worked with V0 before, I worked with Bolt.new. So, and I would say I was always pretty much satisfied with it, right? So I did the same things I did with VWeb with Vercel, and the one thing that Vercel gave me was an actual working beautiful UI, right, that manifested my idea into it with the first prompt, right? And the UI was pretty good. The expected results were like good enough, and it was something that I could start working with immediately. I feel the few things that bugged me were the 3 prompt limit, right? So if you're on free trial, you're only allowed to write 3 prompts, but if you're smart with it, you can get a good enough deal out of it. So yeah, I was pretty much happy with what I got with V0. Even V0 was kind of a kind of AI type shit thing, but still it was, I would say, way better than what VWeb built. And also it was something that was something that I can give to people to use, right? People would not throw it away immediately. That is basically how you can describe it. So also a few things that were good is that it immediately lets you download it in the Next.js project, which is exactly what I wanted. So I downloaded it, pinned up on my VS Code, right? So another problem that V0 generated was that a lot of features that it built are looking good, are looking perfect, but they don't work, right? They don't work as they should. So for example, the pagination flow was not working, right? A lot of routing was incorrect. So I would really suggest, if you are already a front-end engineer, using V0 is really good for you, since it gives you a boilerplate code and then you can just go ahead and make it better, right? So as I told you, I was on time crunch. I don't want to waste a lot of time. So what I did, I plugged everything in my VS Code where I already had a GitHub Copilot extension, and told Go, and everywhere I found a bug, I sent Go Copilot there and told it to fix this particular problem, and voila, after a few hits and misses, it basically was able to solve 85% of it. So majority of bugs are like solved, man. A real solved, right? So we are living in a very amazing time where you don't really have to go over and actually solve stuff. I know a few Cursor fans might be butthurt that I went to Copilot, and honestly, man, I have never got my hands on Cursor, so maybe Cursor is better than this, but it is what it is, man. Anyway, finally, so everything was in place. One thing I needed was mock data. Initially, I went to GPT. I asked GPT to generate mock data for me. I asked it to generate like 100 questions for me, which were in a JSON format, an array of JSONs, and it should have only 2 things. One is the question title, second is the description about Flutter questions. Initially, on the first try, it generated 20 questions and gave it as a sample to me, and I told him, okay, the sample is good, generate 100 questions for me. It ended up just repeating a lot of questions. Like when it gave me the 100 question JSON, almost all of it was either gibberish or just duplicated questions again and again. And I wasted a lot of time with GPT, but somehow it was not able to create 100 unique questions out of it, right? So I went to the next best thing. I went to Claude, and Claude has been a lifesaver, man. So Claude was able to build a small JSON of 100 questions. Only downside was it took a lot of time, but it created the JSON for me and had a downloadable file. So I downloaded the JSON, just patched it to my front-end code, and yeah, we have the particular product up and running. We have actual questions and the text box where users can answer. Now, the rest of the part is all backend logic that we are going to build. But yeah, this is the gist of what we did on day 3 of building a product. And you can see that me being a lazy person, I got 90% of my UI done through AI, and my job is in danger. Anyway, thank you for sticking here, and in the next one we are going to get the backend ready, and I hope we can get the wheels rotating as soon as possible. See you in the next time. Thank you for sticking around. Bye.